Welcome to the fall semester test review. This is mainly over quadratics and everything you have learned this first semester. I will not be doing all of the problems for you, but I will do a few, and this is what your first page should look like. I will be doing number 3, okay? So, number 3, you are to graph it, minimum of 5 points, identify the key characteristics, and these are the key characteristics. So, if you will look, you have an equation in standard form, okay? The first point that you will notice is a -3. This is always your y-intercept, so that one point is going to be right there. The next point, the easiest way to graph is you must know x is equal to -b over 2a, so that you can write it in vertex form. What is your b? Your b is a 4, so it's -4 over 2 times a, which is 2 times 5, okay? So this comes out to be -4 over 10, which is -2 over 5. And there is your x value. To find your y value, you're going to plug it into this equation. So to find your y, you will use 5. Instead of x, you're going to have -2 over 5 squared plus 4 times 2 over 5 minus 3. And you can type all that to your calculator. Let your calculator be your friend, but it will not do everything for you, okay? So 5 parentheses, 2, that's actually -2, my apologies. -2 divided by 5 squared plus 4 times -2 divided by 5 minus 3, okay? And go ahead and change that to a fraction. So your y is equal to -19 over 5. Okay? Now you can write it in your vertex form. And this is what your vertex form is going to look like. Y, which is f of x, equals your a. What is your a? 5x minus h, which is minus negative, makes it a positive, square, plus your h, which is -19 over 5. And there's your vertex form. So this is your vertex, okay? So your vertex is at -2 over 5 and -19 over 5. Well, to help you graph, and if you don't know it, you can go -2 divided by 5 and change that to a decimal, which is -0.4. So it's a little bit right here. And then your y is -19 divided by 5. So it's about -0.4 to -3.8, which is about right here. And there's your vertex. So your vertex is -2 over 5, comma, -19 over 5. Excuse me. Thank you. So, if I were you, I would use this to try to help me, okay? Go ahead and graph so you can kind of like use the calculator to find all the points that you need. So I'm going to type this in. 5x squared plus 4x minus 3. Okay? Here we go. Hit graph. Now, if you can't see it, you can go to Zoom 6. Okay? Now, if you go to second table, you can kind of find some points to try to help you. Now, notice your y is kind of out. So I'm going to go to -2 and 9, which is up here. Okay? And then I'm going to use -1, -2. Okay? And then I'm going to use 0, -3, which I have. And then 1 and 6. Kind of gives you what the graph looks like. So here's my graph. Okay? Now, based on this graph, I wish I had made my line a little straighter. Okay, there you go. Your parameters, basically these are just your numbers. You can write it from your vertex form or your standard form. It doesn't matter to me, okay? Now I'm going to make it a little smaller so you guys can kind of see. Okay. Your domain goes from far left, which is -infinity, to far right, which is +infinity. So negative to positive. Your range, the lowest y value is -19 over 5, and it goes all the way to +infinity. Okay? Continuity. If you were to graph this, notice you never pick up a pen. So, yes, it's continuous. Your limits goes from, as it's approaching negative infinity, please write it correctly, as it's going west, it's heading north, and north is positive infinity. Okay? You're right, so we're talking about this side right here. Your limit, as x is approaching positive infinity, okay, as it's going east, it's also heading north. Your x-intercept. Now, I can't tell what's crossing the x-axis here, but you can use your calculator to help you. If you'll hit second, calculate, you see the 0 right there? I'm going to hit 2 to help me. And these are all decimals, so you guys can use your calculator. Left boundary. I am wanting this point right here. So I'm going to bring my cursor above it. That's your left. And I'm going to bring my cursor to the right of it. And I'm going to say, yeah, tell me what that is. Your y has to be 0. So at your x-intercept, it's negative 1.27, comma 0. Notice there's 2 of them. Now I'm going to go find the other one. Second, calculate again. 0 is the same as your x-intercept. This time, I'm going to use this point, left bound, okay? And then I'm going to right-click over to the right boundary. See how it's also a 0? So your other x-intercept is 0.470. Your y-intercept, if you look on the standard form of your y-intercept, it is written for you. So that is at 0, negative 3. Okay? Your relative minimum, where do you see the minimum? It's down here. So it's at negative 2. Basically, it's your vertex. Negative 2 over 5, negative 19 over 5. Your maximum, there is not a maximum. So you can just write not applicable. Interval increasing. Where do you see it increasing? Well, it starts right here at the vertex and it goes up. What is your x value right there? It starts at negative 2 over 5 and it's heading toward the positive infinity. Okay? Decreasing starts here, comes all the way down and stops at the vertex. So you're starting at negative infinity and stops at negative 2 over 5. Remember, these are your x value that you write down. Okay? Interval positive. Where do you see positive? Well, positive starts here and it stops right here at your x-intercept. So, you're starting at negative infinity. Well, what is your x-intercept right here? Negative 1.27. Okay? Do you see another positive? Well, yeah, you start here at this x-intercept and it goes up. And what is the value of that one? 0.47, heading toward the positive infinity. Interval negative, that's everything below the x-axis. So where does it go? From this x-intercept to this x-intercept. So it starts at, here's your x-intercept, negative 1.27, and it goes to this one right here. Okay? And there you have it. And that is your graphing of your quadratics and its characteristics. Now, here we are going to do quadratic formula, factoring, and completing the squares. And if it's not possible, just write not possible. I'm going to do number 7, because number 7, you are capable of doing all of them. Okay? So let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can kind of see the difference in each one of them. All right. Now take a look. Quadratic formula. It works for every one of them. Here's your A, here's your B, here's your C. Okay? Take care of your b squared minus 4ac first. So what is your b squared? 6 squared, put parentheses around them in case you have a negative, minus 4 times your a times your c. Okay? Well, that comes out to be 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5, and that comes out to be 16. That tells you you're going to have 2 real possible solutions. 2 real. I meant to write 2 real possible solutions, okay? So, take a square root of 16, and that comes out to be plus or minus 4. Plug it into your quadratic formula. What is it? Negative b, what's your b? Negative 6 plus or minus 4 divided by 2 times a, okay? Solve for each one of them. So you have negative 6 plus 4 divided by 2. That comes out to be negative 1. Do it the other way as well. Negative 6 minus 4 divided by 2. That comes out to be negative 5. And there you have your quadratic formula. For factoring, okay? So, draw two sets of parentheses. Factors of x is x and x. And then you're going to multiply 1 times 5, which is positive 5. What two numbers multiply to give you a positive 5, but is going to add, since it's positive, to give you 6x. Well, what are those two numbers? Those two numbers is going to be plus 5 and plus 1. And that's what goes in right here, okay? Set each one of these equal to 0. X plus 5 is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 5. Same answer. I'm going to separate them right there, okay? Next one, x plus 1 equal to 0, so x is equal to negative 1. Notice how you have the same answer. That's where you're going to cross the x-axis. Right? Now, next part, we're going to complete the square. So how do we complete the squares? Make sure it's set equal to 0. So you have x squared plus 6x, right? Move your constant over, put a plus there. That 5, move it over, becomes a negative 5, and leave your blank, okay? Take this number, divide that by 2, and you're going to square it. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Square that, which is 9. You can write it as 3 squared and 3 squared. You can write 9 and 9. It doesn't really matter. All right, now I'm going to factor this part right here. When you factor, you're going to have x and x. Two numbers that multiply to give you 9 is going to add to give you 6. Plus 3 plus 3. Negative 5 plus 9 is 4. Okay? Now, instead of writing it as two separate ones, I'm going to write it as 1. And this is equal to 4. How do you solve for a square? You take a square root. And when you take a square root, oops, when you take a square root, let me see if I can wipe that out. Here we go. Square root of 4 is plus or minus 2. Now solve for x, okay? So you're going to have x plus 3 is equal to 2, and the other one is x plus 3 is equal to negative 2. Solve for x. Subtract 3, so x is equal to negative 1. Subtract 3, so x is equal to negative 5. Notice how you have the same answer, 3 different methods. I'm going to stop there for now, and I will continue on the next video.